Hey, it's Daniel here. Over the last 3 months, we have built our dream video studio here in our office to dramatically improve the way we run our online workshops and trainings for our Facilitator Masterclass course. In this video, I will give you a tour of the entire setup, all the products we have bought, so you can hopefully get inspired and save yourself also a lot of time and research. Plus, since we invested more than 5,000 euro in this entire setup, we will also answer the question, was it all worth it? So we have a lot of ground to cover, so let's jump in. Let's start talking about the background that you see here. So you might think that this here is actually a normal wall, but in fact it's not. In fact, it's a magnetic whiteboard wallpaper from a company called Groovy Magnets. And this cost us a lot of time because we basically had to put this up with our bare hands, and it was much more difficult because we're only used to working on the computer. But I think it was well worth it because now basically this entire setup that you see behind me, so the whole background wall is modular and flexible. For example, the shelves that we have here on that side, we can freely move them around to create like different decoration for each of the session that we have. We can put different books on there. Then we have characters that we can use to form basically any kind of word. And then you can imagine that everything that you print, you only need to put magnets on it on the back, and then you can put it here on the wall. That means we can change the background depending on the context of the session that we run. And this of course creates a really cool experience for the people that we are connecting with online. And then of course, because it's a whiteboard, you can also use it of course to write on it. And that could be used in a standalone session where you just film the whiteboard maybe, but it could also be used again as a decorative purpose, or also just to do our own work here in the office and then document some of our process that we use internally. Now let's switch the perspective and talk about what is in front of me. And as you can see, there are a bunch of things here, but what I would like to talk about first is the video card that you see. This is kind of a DIY video card because we basically bought it from IKEA and then tried to put as much stuff as we could on this video card. Again, with the idea to keep things modular and flexible. Because it has rows, we can now move it around the office and then use it in different scenarios. For example, we might use it to do a recording in a different place of the office, or also to use it as kind of the station when we're working on the whiteboard and doing a session there with people to show stuff. And on the video card, we find a bunch of things. We find, first of all, the computer, quite important. Here we went with a Mac Mini 8GB with the M2 processor. It's actually one of the cheapest Macs you can get, but because it has the M2 processor, it has a lot of processing power, and so far we haven't bounced against any problems. And because there's a standalone computer on this, we can also use it as an editing station, and also it's always ready to use, so it makes it incredibly easy to jump into a session or do a recording like this here. Above the computer, what you see is that we have a really wide monitor, and we actually choose to go with a wide monitor and one monitor instead of two, because again we want to put everything on this card and keep it simple and modular and flexible and easy to move around. But because it's a wide monitor, it actually has a lot of real estate that we can use. So in a session, what we might end up doing is that we have like mirror on the left side that we use a lot, then maybe the Zoom gallery on the right side, and then maybe some notes. And when we are sitting here with two people, we can actually reference everything easily and look at stuff. So it's extremely powerful to have this big monitor in that much space. Plus also above the monitor, we have another monitor, which is a teleprompter. So this one we got from Newer, again, not super expensive, but we have like a monitor at the bottom, and then you have kind of this mirror behind it or on top of it, and the camera goes through it. But the benefit of that is that we can actually put people onto that monitor that we are talking to in that session, and we can actually look everybody into the eye. And because most of the stuff that we're doing is online, I think it's extremely powerful to say or to understand that when you look into the camera in an online session, you basically look everybody into the eye. So it's even more powerful than in an offline session. So I think the teleprompter was something really important, and something we also try to maybe get on the video card, so we can actually also move like the camera, teleprompter, the monitor, and everything together on this video card. So that's maybe a future step. By the way, for all the things mentioned in this video, you'll find a link below in the description, and some of these links are affiliate links, but rest assured, like, this has in no way influenced our purchasing decision. We just bought this stuff because we thought it's valuable and added the link as an afterthought. Let's talk next about the things that you see and the audio that you hear. So everything that you see is captured by a Fujifilm X-S10 camera. It's also kind of a middle entry system camera that I actually originally bought for like a mixed purpose of using it at work, but also using it in my personal life. Unfortunately, now it kind of now always sits there as a webcam, but it does that job really, really well. And the camera is connected with something called a cam stick to the computer, and then basically feeds the video into the computer. And that is something that we can select when we are doing a Zoom session, but also when we're doing a recording like this, I can immediately record to the computer, which is also really handy. Then speaking about like microphones, we actually have two options here. The first one is this microphone here. It's a Shure MV7 microphone. And this is of course really nice audio because you're sitting right in front of it. So if we are using a one-person setup, we are using this one here. If we are with two people, we use the DJI Mix. These are clip-on microphones. They're super handy, super flexible, and we put them on two people. We connect that with the computer, and then we have almost perfect sound with two people. The only difference is it doesn't sound that close and not as nice as this microphone here. So we always use that with one person. As you can see, there's a lot in this setup here, and in order to control that, and in order also to kind of increase the capability of us to quickly do things in an online meeting or online training, we use something called the Streamdeck. Streamdeck is something by Elgato, and we have the one with 15 keys, but it's an incredible device that basically allows you to control things through your computer, and it has a lot of integrations and plugins. So the primary reason we use it for in an online meeting is that we are able to quickly change between scenes. So we can, for example, create a scene where you see me now. We can also create a scene, for example, if we're two people that you see like René, who I often sit here with together, and then we can change between that. But also, for example, a scene that I can just with one click start to show my screen to people without needing to use kind of the native screen sharing feature. And that is super powerful because it's so much easier to do. You have to do less thinking and context switching, just one button to click, and then it does exactly that. We also use it to play some music in the background, to play timers, to quickly mute ourselves, to mute other people. We also have in here like different scenes that we use, for example, for breaks or other things to show. So there are a lot of things that we use it. And on top of all of that, it also doubles as kind of a control for all the lights that we have here. So we can turn off the lights and turn them on as well. It's just super powerful to have. And we're really happy with the Streamdeck and even thinking about getting another one. We also have the Streamdeck pedal, which only has basically 3 buttons that you can program. But the Streamdeck pedal is super cool if you're giving an online presentation, because you can just move the slides with your feet and basically talk hands-free. And that of course is not only very impressive for the audience, but it helps you again to stay in the flow and focus on the content, which is of course the most important. Now I've already teased it, let's talk about the lights here. First of all, without the lights, nothing here looks great. The lights are so important to create kind of this professional image that you see here, and we have a bunch of them connected. Actually, there are 4 of them. So first of all, maybe starting in the background here, we have a decorative light. This is a Govi kind of standing light. Looks super nice in the background, and you can also change the color, so it's super flexible, and we can also control this here to the device. Then the most important second light is the key light that we have here, and this is like a small rig softbox with I think 80 centimeter in diameter, so big enough to really create that nice soft light. And then we have connected it to a newer light source, which is quite powerful, and it shines basically to the softbox and creates this nice light as well. And then of course a stand that everything is on. Then here on the top, we have like an arm that is connected to the wall. It's a newer like light arm or whatever. So it's an arm that we can also put to the side if we want to remove all of that here, but it also holds all of the other lights. Here at the top, we have 2 panel lights that both light the background and a little bit of that side here. So it also gives you a little bit more light on that side. And then we have a hair light that's basically coming from the top here. And that hair light kind of illuminates like the shoulder and also the hair and kind of separates me more from the background. Again, like a slight boost in a more professional image. Now to wrap it up, let's answer the question, was it all worth it? And I would say yes, mostly. There are some things that added a little bit of value, and there's some things that added a lot of value to the setup and the experience that we can create online. And I want to highlight the things that added a lot of value. First up, I think it's the teleprompter. The teleprompter allows you to directly look into people's eyes, something where you can also place, for example, notes when you're giving a presentation. So it really like boosts up like the quality of an experience that you can deliver online. Just an amazing device and amazing technology. So that is a big part of the setup. Second thing is the key light. Even if you don't have a great camera, if you have great lighting, everything looks much more professional. And also people will be more interested in what you are saying because they think like, oh wow, this looks pretty great. Like somebody invested time and energy into this. So they probably have something good to say as well. So key light is a big thing as well. And the last thing is definitely the Streamdeck. So the Streamdeck gives you a lot of control. It really helps you to be in the flow because you can program these buttons to do things for you. Then you don't have to do context switching. You don't go like off the rails, but you can stay focused on the people and the content, and then sometimes click a button or two to do things for you, and it's extremely powerful. There's also like a mobile version, so you can actually download like a mobile version of this on your tablet or on your phone. So I would recommend you to start with that. But also like having this as a physical device with buttons you can click right in front of you is also very powerful. Well, I think that's enough for all the tech talk and nerding out about the video setup. If you have any further questions, then drop them below in the comments. I'm very happy to jump in and answer them if I can. And also if you want to experience how we use this entire setup to create amazing online experiences, then check out when our next Facilitator Masterclass course enrolls. You can always find it on our website and see if that is interesting for you. Until then, I see you around, and I hope you found this video insightful and inspiring.